Hello, I'm Aimee McIntyre. Like you, I'm wild about Washington. It was a first for Washington, the Youth Outdoor Adventure Expo held at Longview. We expected maybe 2,000 kids and their parents. The crowd was double that number, and we saw how the next generation wants to know about our state's natural resources, and they want to be a part of it.
I think we had half again as many kids in attendance as we had anticipated, and they were all happy and all laughing and smiling and having a great time and learning some new things. So it was a very successful day. My hope is that these kids will be exposed to an activity that's going to have a lifelong impact, something that they can do when they're 20 or 30 or 40 or 60 for that matter, something that gets them outside, something that makes them consider the health and fitness aspects of outdoor recreation.
I couldn't think of a better example of how to spend a Friday or a Saturday than being out here and seeing the kids enjoy themselves, enjoying the out of doors. It's just fantastic. I think the turnout has been great. The kids are all enjoying themselves and they're learning a lot about the importance of keeping nature natural. So it's fantastic. This is about trying to correct nature deficit disorder. A lot of kids are so tuned to the TV set or the video game, they forget their connection to the out of doors. And if you've got a connection to the out of doors, you want to preserve it. You're going to make better decisions as adults relative to keeping the outdoors as natural as we can. So this is very important for the future of Washington, to have the connection between kids and the out of doors. So we think it's a valid and a tremendous investment in the future of the state of Washington.
The popular recreational shrimp seasons recently returned to Hood Canal. To keep this resource available to the public, the Department of Fish and Wildlife maintains a visible enforcement effort on the water. But that effort is also on shore and not so visible.
What we're doing on the water there is we're looking for, lots of things, from illegal buoys, which are the obvious ones, you can see those. But other than that, you sit back and kind of watch the boats and kind of see how many shrimp are coming up in a pot, try to get an idea for, who might be exceeding the limit, make contacts with those boats, checking for licenses, pot mesh size, and other regulations that we look for out there, boat registration numbers and things like that. And but it's it's kind of a stab in the dark a lot of times. You watch people for a while and you don't know whether they've got 10 shrimp on board or 500 shrimp until you make the contact. And so we don't always know when we make a contact whether we have a violation or not. We're just looking for licenses to start with and then see where it goes from there. So far today, we haven't come across any violations. Most of the people we contacted early were struggling getting shrimp, and then, as you can see right now, we're contacting people here on the dock and the last boat on the water that were limited and heading in.
We had a couple guys that were working undercover, that were stashed away in a rig that people normally wouldn't see and wouldn't recognize, and they were watching some guys out on a boat that they noticed were making several trips back and forth to a residence. It's unusual for somebody to do that, especially when you have a short opener like this. Generally, people are going to go out. If they get all their shrimp, they're going to pick up everything and they're going to come in. These gentlemen made 4 trips in and out. They saw them bringing buckets out of their boats into this residence, and which lends us to believe that there was something really suspicious going on, that these guys were probably taking more shrimp than they were supposed to be taking. Eventually, we had our officers that were in boats out on the water contacted that gentleman, escorted him back to his residence. I contacted them at the dock, explained to them that we had seen them coming back to the dock several times. Their story was that they had not been back to the dock yet. They decided that that wasn't probably the best course of action for them to take, and stated that, yeah, they did have several other shrimp that were at one of the gentleman's residence. Let's see, I think there were 160 shrimp over limit, and they both just said that, yeah, they knew what was going on and accepted violations for that. So, yeah, they're going to pay a little bit more. It's going to be an expensive shrimp season for them right now.
Here are some Washington fishing opportunities in the coming weeks. The Public Access Program recently got a boost in Mason County from the students at Choice High School. They adopted a local access site, and area residents and tourists will greatly benefit from their efforts.
The value in this program gives our kids an opportunity to give back to the community, to take some pride in local properties in partnership with state agencies like Fish and Wildlife. The skills that they're going to develop are going to be transferable to their careers, to their personal life, and how they lead their life in years to come. We're hoping that they're going to develop a lot of work ethic that are transferred down the road, and amongst a number of other things. Their human relations skills, working with the public, working with as a team, and a number of other things that we think are of high value.
Makes me feel good to do some volunteer work. You know, I can put it on a resume for college.
It is again a time of the year when you will see fawns seemingly separated from their parents. This is seldom the situation, and we ask again that you leave our wild neighbors in the wild.
Well, this time of year, what you have is you have the peak of the fawning period and the calving period for deer and elk. And these animals are going to be born from now until about the second week of June. And the instinctive behavior of these young animals is to lay down and be quiet. And they'll remain that way. And oftentimes what happens, the mother will actually go off and feed, and she will leave that animal there so it's safe and it's not detected by predators. People often mistake that as being abandoned. but actually if they just step back and watch for a while, they'll see the mother come back and nurse this animal. So if you see a young animal laying down, leave it there. Mom's very close by. That's a natural behavior for them to do that. It's an instinctive behavior for them to do that. And if we pick it up and move that animal, most likely it's going to die. It's actually against the law to hold wildlife in captivity. And although people think that they're doing the right thing, the best thing they can do is just leave it there, because when we get the animal, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to take that animal back out and try to reunite it with its mother. Most of the time, that's unsuccessful. So you can actually help save that animal's life by leaving it there.
The birds at this time of the year are on their annual northern migration. That is to say, they come through here on their way north into the Arctic and the high Arctic areas where they will breed and raise their young. It's become an annual event that is advertised, and word has gotten around. People come from all over the state, from neighboring states, and occasionally I even get to talk to people from other countries that come here specifically to watch the birds. Well, we should come away with an appreciation for the importance of estuaries like this one right behind us, Grace Harbor Bay. There are others up and down the coast. Those are important areas where birds feed for their annual migration, both going north and later on in the year going south again as they come south. And also an appreciation for the diversity of the species that occurs here, and an appreciation for the distances that these birds fly. Some of these birds fly great distances to get up north to their breeding grounds. Birds of the different species that occur here winter all up and down the coast, but some of them come from far away, some of them as far away as Peru on the west coast of South America, and some individual actually from Brazil on the Atlantic side of South America. So some birds fly great distances. These people come and they eat here, they frequently lodge here, they buy their fuel here, they probably go shopping too and buy mementos of the area. It is an economic boon and is appreciated by the local businesses.
This has been Wild About Washington, brought to you by the employees of the Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife. Working together, we can save Washington's outdoor heritage for future generations. Thank you for watching.